Hello and a very warm welcome to Rio de Janeiro and one of the most historic stadiums in football, the Maracanã, the newly developed stadium which today hosts Brazil against England in this international friendly live on ESPN. A very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Thomas, alongside me former Scotland international and Liverpool defender Stevie Nichols. Stevie, it is just a friendly, but it should be a great match today.
Yeah, it really is pretty much a historical game, this England-Brazil. So many previous encounters that we remember. I remember as a kid the World Cup in Mexico. Superb game, superb players. I'm not quite sure I can say superb players on England's behalf this time, but this Brazil side for me though really has quality, and it's all about going forward. I can't wait to see them.
Phil Scolari has named a strong starting 11 for this clash, and of course Brazil looking for some redemption, as back in February England beat them 2-1 at Wembley.
Listen, anytime you beat Brazil, that's a fantastic achievement, and really on the night they deserved it. Fred equalising here, you thought it would be a draw, but you know what? Guess who scored? Frank Lampard.
England looking to repeat that. Join us after the break for the lineups of the first. Welcome back to the Maracanã. Brazil against England. We're just rejoining as the tail end of the English national anthem. Two coaches then under a little bit of pressure coming into today's game. Phil Scolari hasn't exactly set the world alight after taking over Brazil for the second time in his career. Of course, led them to the World Cup back in 2002, but has only registered one win in his last 7 games. It's the starting 11 though, and it's a strong one that he's named. Fred will lead the line, Neymar on the right, Hulk on the left, Felipe Luis, David Luiz, Thiago Silva and Dani Alves at the back, with Oscar, Paulinho and Luis Gustavo in the middle.
Well, it's got attack written all over it for me. Thiago Silva at the back, David Luiz. I'm disappointed to see. I would have preferred to see him in the middle of the pack, but nonetheless, you do look at the middle of the pack and they're strong. Gustavo will sit, Paulinho will probably sit. That'll leave Oscar, Hulk, Fred and Neymar as definitely your 4 main attacking players.
Meanwhile, you take a look at Roy Hodgson's England side, and he's made a few changes to the team that could only manage that disappointing 1-1 draw against the Republic of Ireland. Ashley Cole is out, Leighton Baines come in at left back. Meanwhile, Phil Jones is given the opportunity to play with Michael Carrick in the centre.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Both Carrick and Jones at Manchester United, they'll know each other well. They'll play together in the middle of the park for Manchester United as well. So going to the Maracanã, it's all about being solid to start with for England. Once they do that, once they get over the initial burst from Brazil, which I'm sure we'll see, then they can maybe try and get themselves forward. That means that Walcott and Milner and obviously Lampard will have to get up and try and support Wayne Rooney, who will start up top on his own. Not
quite the 200,000 fans that were in this stadium back for the World Cup in 1950. There's about 70,000 fans here for today's game of £320 million. Over $500 million has been spent on redeveloping this iconic stadium, and how Phil Scolari would love to see a victory for his side here today, as he really has struggled to imprint his tactics onto a team which is full of quality, but has yet to produce the goods on international level under Scolari.
I think you look at Brazil historically and qualifying for World Cups in previous years, many times they just haven't been convincing. Of course, they don't have to qualify for this one, but in the friendlies they've had, they haven't been really outstanding. But it's not really about being great now. It's about building your team so that come the World Cup, when it matters, then you're ready to go.
Really is an incredible scene of colour here, of yellow and green all around the Maracanã. The last time England played here, 1984. Your former teammate, Stevie, John Barnes, scoring one of the great goals.
Well, it was probably the greatest goal you'll ever see an Englishman scoring. But for Barnsley, I think it's been a bit of a brick round his neck ever since, because in an England jersey, Everybody expected him to do that every time he stepped on the field. And as great a player as he was, people just, if he didn't produce that sort of burst, then they weren't happy.
So in 375 days, the World Cup will be kicking off here in Brazil. Brazil, of course, guaranteed a spot as hosts. England, though, still some work to do as they're second in their qualifying group behind Montenegro. The players will be looking to make a point here today.
Well, if England can dazzle the way that red strip's dazzling, then I think they'll do well.
We've got an orange ball here as well for today's game, normally associated with the snow, I can tell you. 28 degrees, it's certainly not winter here in Rio. As the ball comes back into Leighton Baines. It's a much tighter formation than the one we saw named against the Republic of Ireland, Stevie, as you would expect, really.
Well, away from home anywhere, the first thing you have to do is kill the game and be solid and be tight. The fact that you're playing Brazil means you can't afford not to do that whatsoever. So don't expect England to be going chasing this game early on. Let's see England getting a hold of the ball and trying to take the sting out of the game first and foremost.
Joe Hart. He's done some travelling since the end of the season, of course, as part of that Manchester City side that was over in the USA for those two friendlies against Chelsea. David Luiz, linked to a move to Barcelona over recent days. He was asked about it a lot in the press conference he held leading up to this game, refused to answer any questions on that subject. The majority of this Brazilian side, of course, plying their trade in Europe. With the exception of Paulinho in the centre of midfield and Fred up front. Fred playing for Fluminense. Paulinho in midfield. Felipe Luis. Shot from Oscar, just blocked.
Don't be surprised to see Felipe Luis getting on the ball wide on the left-hand side here. For Atleti, he's almost a left winger, but he starts the game at left back. I'm sure that's exactly what he's hoping to do for Brazil today.
Part of that Atletico Madrid side with the best defensive record in La Liga. Which is quite something.
They do say the best form of defence is attack, and that's what Atleti did. That's one reason why Felipe Luis was up on the left wing all the time.
Luis.
Well, it's a poor ball Silva gives to Luis. He really just puts all the pressure on him, and Luis makes a poor decision. He should have put that ball as far up the field as he could. Instead, again, what does he do? He passes all the responsibility onto Cesar on his poor foot. And of course, England end up with a throw-in 25 yards from goal.
Rooney, of course, scored against Brazil when these two teams met in February. Glenn Johnson. Through the legs, it's come through to Frank Lampard with the delivery in. Headed away by Dani Alves. Baines. To pick it up, and it's just come as far as Carrick. Come through the centres, come as far as Julio Cesar. Be very surprised if he'll be playing for QPR at the start of next season. Of course, the inside relegated.
Well, I think both from a professional and a personal point, that'll be the case. But certainly, if he wants to play in the World Cup, I don't think even Scolari, who's a big fan of Cesar, would feel that playing in the Championship would be the best preparation for the World Cup on home soil.
Ball comes through to Hulk. Taken down nicely in the centre. And the shot is blocked by Baines.
I'm very surprised Oscar had a chance of a first touch there. If he'd pulled it down, he would have got a strike at goal. Instead, it was a poor one, and it bounced way up over his head. Eventually broke to Neymar, but it was a good block from Baines. A little bit fortunate there, England. I mean, that would have been an absolute disaster to lose a goal so early.
Once again starts in the attack. It's Neymar, expected to be unveiled the presentation in Barcelona this week, and who's joined the Catalan club for 50 million euros.
Well, they'll need to make better decisions than this at Barcelona if he's going to succeed. Held on to it too long. England got numbers behind the ball. You see everybody standing off them. They're scared to get too close in case he goes past them. And eventually, as I said, it's a poor decision. The shot was never really on, and it was a poor one anyway.
So there were safety fears ahead of the kickoff. The game was called off by a Rio judge on Thursday. However, that was overturned. And the game was always going to go ahead, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you threw the figures out earlier of what this fixture is going to make in monetary terms, and when money's involved, decisions are usually made that's going to be the right decision.
Almost picked up on the far side by James Milner there.
Well, he almost got it, but these are the types of situations where England have to make good use of it, because as we're saying, they don't look as though they're going to see an awful lot of the ball, so when they get the chance to get it, they better make sure they keep it.
Dani Alves takes it down beautifully, puts it into the centre, headed away though by Jagielka. The rebound is fired in. England under a little bit of pressure here early on. Johnson. Back into Joe Hart. Anyway, will do really for the clearance.
Well, Johnson's problem there is that he's got nobody to try and hit. When you play one up front, today it's Rooney, it just stops you from just letting the thing go and clearing the danger area. When really Johnson, all he should have done was just stick it in a hole, let Rooney fight for it, and even if they lose it, they're going to lose it, what, 60, 70 yards from goal.
Theo Walcott brought down, wins a free kick. Johnson to take, eventually. Fed down the right into Walcott.
I was hoping Milner had got his head up there, because Wayne Rooney had made a great run through the middle. Decided to go with Walcott, and as we can see now, it's turned out to be the wrong decision.
Brazil then on the break. It's Neymar to Dani Alves. Feeds it into the centre. Cleared away though by Jagielka.
Well, they managed to clear the line so far, England, but I'd like to see Cahill in particular and Jagielka staying out of that penalty area defensively. As soon as you start backing into that area, you're asking for all kinds of problems, particularly shots from distance.
Foul against Frank Lampard.
Yeah, it's a horrible decision. No way it's a foul. Alves and Lampard just challenging for the ball. That, however,
Carrick just catching Oscar,
is about as clear as it gets. That's a free kick. He's late, he's nowhere near the ball, and Oscar takes it right down the side of his shin.
It's fitted well at Chelsea, who, if you believe the English press, will be announcing Jose Mourinho as the new coach tomorrow. I feel like I've been saying that for the last 6 months.
Yeah, it's getting a bit old, isn't it? Let's get it done, Chelsea, please.
And the free kick is comfortably saved by Joe Hart. Saw it all the way.
Yeah, it was nice and easy. It's on target. Has to be a lot closer to that post to give anybody any trouble. And a goalie with the class of heart isn't going to be beaten with a free kick like that.
Jones with a little flick on. Just kind of as Thiago Silva.
Again, Dan, those little balls are important that they win those. We keep stressing that when you don't have the ball for long periods, the way that it's going to be today for England, that any opportunity they can to capitalise on any little mistake or any little piece of good play that they might have themselves, it is huge that they make the most of it.
Oscar. Challenge. Yeah, Jagielka there.
Great defending, great spot, had enough pace, beat Hulk to it and cleared these lines.
Felipe Luis does well to keep it in. Oscar. Looking for support on the edge of the box. Finds it in Neymar. Dani Alves. Caught by James Milner, it's a free kick.
Yeah, again, it wasn't a great ball from Neymar. He's tried to set it up perfectly for Alves, puts it a little close to Milner. And really, Milner goes to ground when he should stay on his feet, because as soon as you go to ground, you're asking the referee to blow his whistle.
Neymar will be in a private flight this evening to Barcelona ahead of that presentation. I imagine the Camp Nou will be full to welcome him to the club. Neymar, free kick, of course. Brazil hosting the Confederations Cup this month.
There's that chance Neymar had earlier on. Gustavo doing a nice bit of huddling over the top of Walcott as well.
Gustavo, of course, was forced to come back by the Brazilian FA. Missed the German Cup final yesterday, in which Bayern Munich beat Stuttgart by 3-2.
Number one, that was a ridiculous decision. Not only did they bring Gustavo, but they also stopped Dante from playing in the final. In some ways, at least Gustavo's playing in this game. But to have Dante sitting on the bench is an absolute disgrace. Not playing him after not letting them play in the German Cup final is absolutely criminal for me.
It was a nice touch. I saw the celebrations after the game. All the Bayern players were holding up Luis Gustavo's and Dante's T-shirt.
As good as that is, and as great a gesture that is, if you're the two players and you're not there, it just isn't the same.
Alves. Gustavo in the centre. Into David Luiz. Thiago Silva. No player that many, including yourself, Stevie, rate as the best defender in the world.
Yeah, I think at his best. There's nobody better. I'm not sure that there's a huge amount of competition, or whether he's just so much better than everybody else. Probably the first one. I don't think there are that many people vying for his crown. Maybe Varane at Real Madrid comes to mind. But after that, I'm not sure there's anybody close to him. And this guy here, I think this guy should be playing in the middle of the park. I think for somebody who's...
Has he not improved, though, David Luiz, for you?
I'm desperate to say yes, but not really. You know, it's playing centre-back is about making good decisions and making the game easy. He doesn't make good decisions often enough, and sometimes he makes the game awful hard. More for himself than anything else.
He's out for a throw-in. Look at this Brazil squad. It's just full of young players with potential. You just wonder how they're going to do when it comes to the pressure of playing the World Cup in your own country. It's very made a statement with this squad for the Confederations Cup. No Kaká, of course, no Ronaldinho.
I think rightly so. Again, we've seen Milner going to ground here. And in today's game, when you go to ground, your opposition, whoever it is always going to go down. And Dani Alves, you put a challenge on him, then he's going to go down. And then it's after that, it's a toss of a coin. It's up to the referee whether he thinks there's contact or not. But because you go to ground, it makes it really easy for the referee.
Thiago Silva, seen a familiar pattern of play really unfold. England pretty much camped in their own half here. Theo Walcott, though, looking to bring it forward for Roy Hodgson's son.
And that's just not good enough. I said they might not have the ball too often and they have to use it well. Well, that's about as basic an error as you can make. He's got a 5-yard pass. All he had to do is open his body up and roll it nice and easily. Instead, he tries to flick it with the outside of his boot, makes a mess of it, and guess where the ball is? Right at the feet of the yellow jerseys again.
Dani Alves, Barcelona side, made it 100 points in La Liga yesterday with a victory against Malaga on the final day of the season in Spain. Special ceremony afterwards as they bid farewell to Eric Abidal. Neymar. Fish on Neymar, the long shot, not a bad one.
I don't think it was as close as you think it is. I think Joe Hart's made it look a lot closer than it was. That's never going in. And Joe just plays it safe, dives anyway, but pulls his hands away, and it's safely wide.
Just the 5 goals at international level for Dani Alves. His 62 caps. Now the other end, Walcott, heavy touch. Sees him give away possession.
Well, there's 2 touches in the game, and one's been not enough, and the other one's been too heavy.
England win back the possession, and it's Walcott into Rooney, and this is poor from England going forward. They just can't pick a pass.
Well, a schoolboy, isn't it? There's no composure there whatsoever from Walcott. Wayne Rooney thinks he's going to run with it, starts making a run, instead he gets it, and then Walcott shuts down, doesn't think he's getting it back. He plays it back first time, and he's just not ready for it.
Alves pumps it over the top, looking for Neymar. Neymar! Joe Hart makes the save. Well, he saves Glenn Johnson's blushes there.
He did. He should never get in. A 35-yard ball should never reach, but it does. It's not the greatest of touches, and because of that, that's why Johnson misses it. But you would expect Neymar to score from here. Here we see it. Johnston looks as though he has him. Just loses him for a second, which is long enough for Neymar. And Johnson gets away with it because Joe Hart makes himself big here and gets his body in the way. Bit of a let-off, really, for England.
Luis. Some of the England fans making their voices heard. Riposte from the Brazilian supporters, hence the whistles around this magnificent stadium.
Being still in discomfort there. He had that right at the start of the game, trying to flick a ball with the outside of his left foot. And if he's still got that 20 minutes into the game, that's not a good sign. I would be shocked if he lasts the rest of this half, never mind the game.
Neymar then with the first corner of the match.
Go, Jax, go! Go!
Fits on at the near post. Silva.
Lampard gets away with that. He just gets out-muscled, should be stronger. It's Jagielka actually should be a lot stronger than that. In the end, it's a shot that's straight to Joe Hart that he deals with, but he really should deal with that as well.
Jagielka knocks it back into Joe Hart. 20 minutes gone then here. The Maracanã. Brazil 0, England 0 in this international friendly. Live on ESPN. If you're just waking up, you haven't missed too much, actually, so far. It's been all Brazil. Joe Hart really has only made the one save of note, denying Neymar from close range. Out for a throw-in.
I think what you see there again, and it happened about 5 minutes ago with Luis down that side and Luis Felipe, they're not quite in tune. Luis is not quite sure when he's going to check and then go long, or whether he's going to check and come short. And on both occasions, they've just guessed wrong both times. And they looked a little bit silly in the outcome of it. But that's why you play friendlies, that's why you play games, to get in tune with your teammates.
Oscar. Neymar. Still with Neymar. Did well to create the space for the shot.
Well, initially it's too easy. He comes off Neymar. Plenty of red jerseys, but nobody closing him. And that is a whisker away. Joe Hart was never getting near that if that had been on target from Neymar.
Jagielka. Ball's given away again. What's wrong with this England side, Stevie? Why can't they keep the ball?
I mean, you look on the face of it, they've got ability. You know, Rooney, Walcott has ability, Milner has ability. I mean, every one of them has ability, but if you don't have that composure, then your touch will be off. And then, of course, everybody gets frustrated after that, and it just becomes harder and harder and harder every time you go to get a hold of it. But it's all about composure.
You talk about pressure and everyone says, yeah, that, you know, the England side are under a lot of scrutiny. Everything they do is under the microscope. That's nothing compared to this Brazil side and what they're going to face over the next year.
Yeah, but they don't know that. The last thing they're thinking about is the pressure Brazil are under. All they're worried about is the pressure they're under going and playing in the Maracanã.
Neymar with a long shot comes through to Joe Hart. But what I mean by that, England sometimes use that as an excuse as to why they don't produce an international level. But it's as if England are the only side who are under pressure from the media, from the press, from the fans.
I can't disagree with that, but at the end of the day, they don't care about the pressure any other team's under. They're only caring about the pressure they're under. And quite frankly, looking from the outside, as I'm Scottish and not English, really everybody expects too much from particularly this England side. I mean, there are 3 or 4 players on this team who are not regulars in their own side when they play in the league. So, you know, if you're asking, reserve players isn't the right word, but if you're asking players who don't play normally or are not first teamers for their side, and you expect them to come into the Maracanã and do well against a Brazil side full of stars, then I think you're asking for too much. Now, when somebody can't pass the ball 5 yards to a teammate, then you certainly can criticise, but I don't think it's quite as simple as everybody seems to think it is.
Oscar. Caught by Leighton Baines. Alves.
Most teams would look at a Leighton Baines and see him struggling and just keep getting the ball out on his side, but this Brazil side just has one thing in mind: how can we get Neymar on the ball? Let's get through the middle and let's try and destroy them that way. They really haven't used the width an awful lot so far.
And over the top, looking for Hulk. He's come through to Oscar. Still with Oscar. Plays it across Johnson. Somehow gets it away.
Can't believe Holt never got himself across the front and dived at that.
Back with Neymar on the edge of the box. Shot comes in. The effort from Paulinho into the hands of Joe Hart.
Well, it's superb from Oscar. He looks as though he's going to have a shot. Stranded his two defenders, went past them.
Milner pings it forward.
Here's Oscar. Just goes walking past Cahill. And I don't know whether I can say that was superb defending from Johnston, because for me, he should have hooked it away with his left foot. Decided to let it run across him. Took a huge gamble with his right, but got away with it.
England, though, given the corner. Away, though, comfortably. By Fred. Baines gives it away.
Let me tell you, it doesn't get any luckier than that. That back line stranded on the halfway line. Unfortunately, the pass wasn't the best, and I think it was Cahill that managed somehow to get a toe on it. Otherwise, Brazil would clean through it with half a field to spare.
Rooney finds Johnson. Once again, possession is given away. Ball finds Neymar. A clever ball from Neymar. Joe Hart, though, does enough. As the ball goes out for a corner. Goodness me, England living dangerously here.
Well, it should be a goal kick, but you know what? Joe Hart does great there. Again, gets his body, makes himself big. He's brave. He's diving down at the feet. And again, Felipe Luis really kicks it out for me. It shouldn't be a corner, but for the attack, I guess they deserved it.
England living dangerously here. The home fans can sense a goal. Jagielka, though, heads it away as far as Dani Alves. Looks to pull the trigger. It's on target, but you would expect Joe Hart always to save this.
Yeah, you do, but you see how much this ball dips. Joe Hart is actually catching it as it's hitting the ground. That's how much dip there was on it. Just manages to get two hands behind it. And in the end, made it look comfortable, but it wasn't that comfortable.
Walcott.
It's tough not to have a go at Walcott there as well. I mean, he has to know that he's got a defender breathing down the back of his neck. Just looked as though he had no idea there was anybody around him. Just got caught in possession.
Friendlies keep coming here on ESPN. Tune in on June the 10th. That should be another cracking game. Brazil against France. A warm-up for Brazil's Confederations Cup campaign. Forward. You'd love playing with this orange ball, wouldn't you, Steve? England playing as if the orange ball is actually on fire at the moment. They can't seem to pick a pass.
You can see the Brazilians are picking passes, but seriously, when that ball's in the air, the colour of it for me must make it difficult. for the
Steve,
players.
what are you talking about? It's a ball. You can see it.
But you look at the colour orange, you look at all the different colours around the stadium. When that ball's in the air, I mean, you don't. When you go to a cricket match, there's a reason why they have a white board behind the bowler, right? It's a similar sort of situation. That sometimes you can lose the ball when it's in flight because of the colour.
Oh, it's a Neymar. It's Oscar. Joe Hart with the save back into Oscar. And a shot from Hulk. Nowhere near hitting the target, but he was offside.
Well, you see that a little bit of vision from Neymar finds Oscar, and then just that, he's so sharp over that half a yard that he beats Baines, and all Joe Hart can do is just palm it out to safety. Just here, Neymar, good little piece of vision, picks Oscar out, just does Baines over half a yard. Again, it's a save Hart should make, but he's in a good position. Can't hold it and palms it away to safety.
Half an hour gone here. Brazil 0, England 0. The Brazilian media were reporting beforehand that Scolari let the grass grow a little longer, as we just see Leighton Baines come off to be replaced by Ashley Cole.
I don't think that's a real shock, is it? Baines has been struggling right pretty much from the get-go. He's twisted his hip, clearly has a problem. And that was always on the cards for me.
What about reports that they let the grass grow a little bit longer because England are used to playing on the short grass?
I don't get it. I would have thought that the shorter and the quicker the field, it's more in tune with better players. For me, Brazil have got better players than England, so I don't quite get that one, keeping the grass long.
Joe Hart.
Generally, when the grass is too long, you would always associate that with not being able to run with the ball. So maybe Scolari's thinking that England are not that good on the ball. The only thing they can do is run with it, so he's going to eliminate that. Other than that, I have no idea why he would do that, because I don't think it suits his team.
Danny Alves. To Fred. Space here as he runs at Glenn Johnson.
A little bit selfish, Neymar. I mean, the fact that he sees the shots on through Dave Johnson's legs is one thing, but realistically, he's not going to score from there. He's not going to be able to get enough power on it, and he has men running in behind, coming short. You see Fred coming close to him. That would have been a better option instead of taking a selfish route and trying to do it all on his own, which he has done for the most part this first half.
Palini. Into Ashley Cole, his first touch since coming on, sees him lose the ball to Oscar. It's Hulk. Disappointing season.
Well, I would like to have seen Hulk just having a go at this with his right foot, but he does have time to turn and get it on his favoured left. I mean, again, nobody closed him. Gary Cahill's about the closest there is, but it's a poor attempt at a curled shot into that top right-hand corner.
He'll be on his way out of Zenit after a fight with Spalletti. Rooney with a flick on. Stood over the top, headed into the mix by Cahill.
That should have been a free kick on Cahill. No question, he was being hampered by Fred there for me.
Oscar to Danny Alves. Here's Wayne Rooney. Walcott back into Rooney.
I think you were very kind there. Walcott back to Rooney. It certainly hit Walcott back to Rooney. I don't think he intended it. Rooney was trying to play it to Walcott so that he could run. Instead, Walcott was trying to run in behind. And again, it just fizzles out. Basically got two players who are not quite in tune with each other going forward with Rooney and Walcott.
Julio Cesar has had very little to do so far in the Brazilian goal. All the action has been in front of Joe Hart.
Is that who's in goal?
Yes, I know. Makes you think. Just see Lucas Moreno on the bench there.
I don't think we've seen him in the picture for a while, have we?
It's confirmation that Leighton Baines has gone off as Oscar makes his way into the box, goes down.
That's a tight decision with the referee and a big one. I'm guessing if this is not a friendly, that's a penalty kick. I'm sure the referee may have given that. The fact it's a friendly, a little less pressure on him here from the fans.
Alves. Fred. Nice ball in. Hook with a little flick. Close.
That's a beautiful little piece of play, isn't it? Oscar again, he's been involved in all the good things for Brazil. Hulk just can't quite get it in that far post, in off the far post. Oscar, nice little toe poke past Cole. Lampard there tidying up. Does get enough of the ball for me. And it's a good decision, it's not a penalty kick. Just gets a little touch on it there. It gets him out of trouble.
It's been all Brazil. Joe Hart putting in a man-of-the-match performance to keep it 0-0 as it stands. Just under 10 minutes to go here. David Luiz to Neymar. Dani Alves. Oscar. With the shot goes out for a throw.
Jones and Carrick are having to do an awful lot of work in the middle of the park there. Brazil, they're knocking little balls in behind, in front of the back four. Whether it's Fred or Neymar, they're coming off and they're finding space, which means that Carrick and Jones have to get back in there and make those challenges. Because Jagielka and Cahill, they're standing off and not stepping out.
Felipe Luis. From Neymar. Back by Phil Jones. Neymar. Foul there on Carrick.
Yeah, it's an ugly looking challenge. Not an awful lot of meat and power behind it, but nonetheless a free kick. Had he gone with a little bit more venom, there might have been something else on the end of that, maybe a yellow card.
Jones. Glenn Johnson.
Final ball again, yeah. I mean, it was on. Walcott got himself a little bit of space in there behind that David Luiz, but the delivery wasn't good enough.
Dani Alves. Well, if you criticise Glenn Johnson,
yep,
you've got to criticise Dani Alves as well for that.
Yeah, poor delivery. Some good strong challenges going on in this game as well. A lot of pushing and shoving. But so far all the football's coming from the boys in yellow and blue.
Jones. To Rooney. Glenn Johnson. Well, Cuts a lovely ball back inside to Theo Walcott. There's the chance for England.
It was, he had an awful lot of time there as well. Playing a high line, Brazil. Nice little ball in behind from Johnston, and Walcott, he had time to size it up. Unfortunately, he hits his shot pretty much straight at Cesar. But we have to give Cesar credit. Picked up a good position and made the save. Really should have tried to get it across the front of Cesar Walcott there, but instead he really went for power instead of accuracy.
5 minutes till the break. Oscar. Paulinho. Oscar. Puts it over the top, the header from Fergie over the bar.
Should have done better there, Fred. Not the greatest of crosses the first time from Oscar, and he puts a little bit too much air on it, but still. Fred's got the jump on Johnston and really should have got that down below the crossbar, and should have made Hart make a save at least.
Ronaldo is here commentating the game today. How Scolari would love to be able to count on him, as he did back, of course, in 2002 for the World Cup next year. It's what Brazil are really missing when you look at this squad, an out-and-out striker who's going to guarantee you goals, as Ronaldo did, of course, in his prime.
I think the way the game's gone these days, that, you know, kids growing up, they don't want to be a centre forward, they want to be an attacking midfielder. You know, this, everybody's playing with three up front. That kind of old-fashioned playing up the middle, holding the ball up.
Nice ball over the top. Joe Hart's there, though.
Just like that, you got Oscar, one of the front three, playing wide, coming inside, making runs in behind, and almost sneaked his way in there from, what, a 60-yard ball? I mean, that just shouldn't happen.
Lampard. Ashley Cole. Luis with the header away, as far as Lampard. Frank Lampard, who of course scored the winner at Wembley back in February. A little better though from England here.
Yeah, it's encouraging, at least he gets a shot off Lampard. Still had 4 or 5 yellow jerseys in front of him, but did get it on target. And again, good position from Cesar, makes an easy save.
Dani Alves. Cahill to Lampard. Comes into David Luiz. Both teams look ready for half-time here.
I think if you're England, you're happier at half-time. 0-0. Kept it down to, what, a couple of clean chances. And when you've had as little of the ball going forward as they've had, 0-0 at half-time is a great result. For Brazil, they'll be disappointed. They've had enough of the ball in that attacking third. They've had enough room to get some shots off, to make Joe Hart make saves. Just haven't managed to get past them yet.
Johnson. It's Jones. Playing right back against Republic of Ireland.
I would actually like to see Glenn Johnston playing right midfield. For me, he makes far better decisions on the ball than Walcott certainly has been doing today and in previous games, because going forward he keeps the ball as well. I would love to see him with a couple, like 2 or 3 game run just on that right hand side, because You know he's going to defend. It's in his makeup, so he will get back. But he loves getting forward, so I would play him further up the field.
Gustavo to Thiago Silva. Jones knocks it back into Johnson. Milner. You mentioned his name, by the way, haven't we? Something going forward. It's Rooney.
They've been too busy doing a lot of defending. Most of the red jerseys. Milner's, Carrick's, Jones. Even Lampard, you know, they've just had to cover ground, try and get goal side, and try and keep the ball in front of them.
Just the 1 minute of added time then here, this international friendly. Johnson. And there goes the half-time whistle then here at the Maracanã. It's Brazil 0, England 0. The scoreline doesn't really tell the whole story. It's been all Brazil in the first half. Neymar with a couple of chances. We saw Hulk as well with the opportunity to break the deadlock, but Joe Hart has been the difference between the two sides. The England goalkeeper in world-class form to keep it 0-0 at the break. Brazil against France then, coming up on June the 10th. It's another early start, but it should be worth it. So much quality on show for what is the final friendly for Brazil before the Confederations Cup kicks off with that game against Japan here in Rio de Janeiro. It's currently Brazil 0, England 0. Brazil very much on top as you take a look at the fixtures that are coming up. Japan, Mexico and Italy in their Confederations Cup group. Not easy at all, Stevie, those games.
No, they're not. But again, I expect Brazil to have plenty of possession of the ball, whether it's a Confederations Cup or these other international friendlies they have, and it's about getting their connections right going forward for me. Can Neymar and Hulk and Fred, can they combine and get on the same page and not only make chances but put the ball in the back of the net? For me, that's the only thing that Brazil are missing.
And meanwhile, this stadium, they spent over $500 million regenerating it to be ready for the World Cup. There's still some work that actually needs to be done to it. They will indeed be ready. A lot of talk about whether Brazil will be prepared for the fans coming over. It's not only the problems with the pitch, but also the infrastructure when it comes to transport. We've got just over a year to sort that out. And we're just having some problems reconnecting with live pictures from the stadium. So let's just remind us of what's coming up for England. As we said, that international friendly against Gordon Strachan's Scotland. And now we've got pictures back, I'm being told, and there we go. And Marcelo is about to come on, as you imagine. Scolari's going to make a number of changes here for the second half. Hernandez as well alongside Marcelo. Looks like he's going to come on. Jose Mourinho, of course, left Marcelo's Real Madrid yesterday. He bid farewell to the Bernabeu. Marcelo is the second half about to get underway then here at the Maracanã. Not before changes are made. It looks like Hernandez and Marcelo are about to come on as we look at the only chance that England created in the first half. Theo Walcott just offside, probably, Stevie.
Well, it's definitely an argument, but at the same time, David Luiz does enough to get across and put Walcott off. But Walcott really, for me, should be putting that across the front of Cesar into the far corner, and instead hits it straight at him.
So it looks like both teams are going to be making changes as Marcelo comes on for Felipe Luis. Scolari and Frank Lampard, of course, know each other well from Scolari's days at Chelsea.
Welcome for
Marcelo, who spent 6 seasons at Real Madrid.
Expected to start.
We're sorry for the dual commentary.
He's going to get the second half.
As we're just trying to sort out the technical problems that we're having here. As Freggi remains on the pitch. Just want to see who Hernandez has come on for.
So after a fairly protracted
as it will be, then England to get us underway, playing from right to left on your screens.
Tough first half.
In their red shirts and white shorts. It was a difficult opening 45 minutes for Roy Hodgson's side.
Now his team to be a bit more expansive. They've been
Ashley Cole, who didn't start the game, came on to replace Leighton Baines.
Really haven't been able to find a way to.
Hernandez has come on to replace Luis Gustavo in the centre.
Walcott did get that chance. It was marginal whether it was offside or not, but it would have counted.
Yeah, I think both of them are pretty straightforward substitutions. Marcelo in his normal spot in there, and Hernandez, for me, the same.
Thiago Silva.
And David Luiz to Marcelo. Dani Alves into Thiago Silva. Meanwhile, looking to take the ball down is Freggi. Into Marcelo. So he goes for goal. Let's come back now to Phil Jones.
Looks like there's been a wee rejig there. Hulk looks to be a lot more on that left-hand side. Oscar looks as though he's coming in centrally. Of course, Neymar will do his usual, drifting around, trying to get himself on the ball. And Fred, again, will be the focal figure for me up front.
No changes for England as we start the second half here. The Maracanã, the confirmation of the changes of Felipe Luis and Luis Gustavo both going off for Hernandez and Marcelo. Hernandez had a great season for Lazio, just culminating in the Italian side, winning the Italian Cup in the Rome derby. Dani Alves. Oscar leads it through, looking for Neymar.
That's where England have to be really careful. Just those little seams where they're knocking balls in to Neymar's feet and to Fred to play little 1-2s. It's a real tough position for the two centre-backs because they really don't want to be stepping out there and leaving a hole, because before you know it, somebody will be nipping in behind them. So they're trying to keep well back and rely on Jones and Carrick just filling in front of them.
Cole. It's Milner.
I'm guessing the referee's given a free kick there because he played on after the initial foul on Cole, and Milner pretty much kicked it out of play. So yeah, he's given the free kick.
Launched forward by Carrick, and it will be a corner to England here. Just apologies for the issues that we're having with some of the audio here. I'm sure our team are looking to fix it as soon as possible.
Well, not as many problems as England are having going forward. I mean, on that occasion, you see Carrick, the connection with his Man United teammate with Rooney. Almost a great ball in behind, and of course Lampard was coming in there for the layoff.
Ball into the box. Cesar not exactly controlling things there.
Not quite sure Rooney does anything wrong here. Says that for me, runs into Rooney more than anything. I mean, Rooney makes a jump, doesn't get there. Jones comes in behind him. But the referee's always going to give a free kick there, always.
Paulinho to Hernandez. Marcelo. Dani Alves. As far as Jagielka. That's where England really have struggled to make any sort of impression on this game in the Brazil half. 5 minutes gone. It's now, if this finishes 0-0, England will be more than happy.
No question, 0-0 will suit England more than Brazil. Fans beginning to get a little bit restless with Scolari's lack of results. I mean, they've only had one loss, but they really haven't had too many wins, and I'm afraid Brazil's culture is all about winning, scoring goals, making chances, and just dominating the opposition.
Rooney to Theo Walcott. Cole finds its way to James Milner. Walcott gives away possession.
I think that's the first time you've said that today, Liz.
Not his best game in an England shirt.
He's been poor on the ball, and even in the break before he made a bad decision. And there's another bad pass. And quite frankly, it's just going from bad to worse. I think Roy probably should start thinking about making a change. I mean, you can only give someone so many chances.
Oxlade-Chamberlain, you imagine?
Well, he would be the obvious one. I mean, it's one of those days. It's not going for Walcott. The more he tries things, the harder he tries, the worse it's getting in this game.
Would Hodgson already have decided what substitutes he would make before the start of the game, with this being a friendly, Stevie, or will he be quite flexible in the changes that he makes?
I think he'd probably have a couple of options, to be honest. He'll sit and, you know, he'll be able to work out probably who needs a game, who needs an hour, who needs to go on, who needs to come off. But of course, things happen during the game, and when you have a player like Walcott, who you want to do well, and he's just having a bad time, then you should probably think about getting him off and not destroy the little confidence that he might have at that particular time.
So a quiet start to this second half then. Brazil 0, England 0. This game live on ESPN with myself, Dan Thomas, and Stevie Nicol.
Haven't been particularly lively, Brazil, this half either. Don't look as though they're that desperate to get forward the way they did in the first half. Every opportunity for the first 30-35 minutes, they were desperate to get Neymar on the ball and go forward. Just haven't shown that yet this second half.
Rooney, a frustrating night for him so far. He's seen very little of the ball. Walcott. Nick it back into Jones. And free kick awarded. Neymar goes down.
Nothing in that whatsoever. Jones just doing exactly what Neymar did, stood his ground. Neymar goes down because he's just physically not as strong as Jones, and referee gives a free kick.
So Lucas Moura there warming up on the touchline. Looks like he's going to come back on. Oh, come on, sorry. That big move to PSG in January. Great player. Only 20 years of age, Lucas. Looks like he's going to be a star of the future. Luis. Now Neymar. Hulk. Turn on the edge of the box. It's Fred who was trying to unleash the shot.
Well, right at the start of that move for Brazil, there should have been a free kick on Milner. Dani Alves just blatantly kicking him, but then it broke for the Hulk. Plays it into Fred, looking for the 1-2, doesn't get it back.
Ball over the top, taken down by Hulk. James Milner's there to clear it away for a corner.
Well, where was his right foot there? All he had to do was bring it down on his right. He times his run to perfection. It's a great little ball in behind as well. Just here. Had he had a right peg, he could have pulled it down with that one and then had the second touch of shot. Instead, gets his body all in the wrong place, tries to pull it down with the outside of his boot.
So Oscar coming off, Lucas Moura to replace him. And he joined PSG from Sao Paulo in January.
With that.
10 minutes gone. It's the third change. Phil Scolari. Marcelo. Dani Alves.
You sometimes wonder as well with friendlies. I mean, this game at the moment, I mean, it looks exactly what it is. It's a friendly. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot of bite in it.
Hulk tries to play it across on the volley. Comes off Johnson. Hulk into Marcelo. And a shot off the crossbar. And the rebound is put in by Fred. And Brazil take the lead. Joe Hart is finally beaten. It's Brazil 1, England 0.
Well, if you stand off, I mean, this is just a superb strike for goal. Takes the pace off it. I mean, Hernandez, for me, is unfortunate he doesn't score the first time. You don't need to go for too much power. As long as you've got accuracy, it comes off the bat, and Fred's on his toes, following up the way good strikers should be. And it's not just a tap-in. Joe Hart does well to get back on his feet. He stays calm, Fred, gets a good contact on it, and it goes under Hart. And it's a deserved lead, really.
Fred gets his 11th goal in a Brazilian shirt, but he'll have to thank Hernandez for it. What a brilliant effort from the substitute.
Well, they've been standing off the whole game. Carrick and Jones couldn't get close enough there. Jagielka and Cahill have been standing too deep as well. And eventually, if you stand off players of the quality of Hernandez, then they're going to hurt you. And that's exactly what's happened.
England looking for an instant response. Oh, and it's just over Wayne Rooney's head. Alves to Lucas.
Overdoes it, Lucas. I mean, the pass was on wide. Should just have rolled it instead of that. Just dances on it, another step over, and then a poor pass. England have to be careful now, though. As soon as you lose the goal, you see them trying to get forward. If they do try and go forward too early, if they do commit players before it's on, then if it breaks down, then this side will hurt you.
How will England respond? They have to open things up a little bit. Milner to Cole. Right to Hernandez.
Well, again, that was a lack of communication. Walcott was looking for the ball in behind. Johnson's looking to play the ball short. Just not in sync with each other.
Marcelo. See that England are going to make a substitution here. It will be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come on. You imagine Theo Walcott being a man coming off, although I suppose you look at James Milner as well.
Well, I think Milner is more there because he knows he's going to defend. He'll do his shift backwards. Walcott really is the guy that won't get forward with running, but it hasn't worked today, so for me that would be the change.
Neymar. Oh, nice ball over the top. Aimed certainly from the home supporters. The Hulk was brought down by Johnson.
Absolutely never. Hulk was looking for it the whole way. Great idea, nice little ball over the back of the England back four, and Johnson just stands his ground. Hulk runs into the back of him. Never in a million years was that a penalty kick.
Now we're gone then here at the Maracanã, Brazil 1, England 0, as Roy Hodgson looks to make a change. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come on to, well, replace Glenn Johnson. It's an attacking move. From Hodgson here.
Not quite sure what to make of this. I mean, England have to go forward, but they have to go forward sensibly. I mean, I'm guessing that Milner's the one that will go to right back and leave Walcott on the right, probably put Chamberlain on the left. I think that's what I would do if Johnson had to be the man that goes. Unless, of course, they go to a 3, maybe they'll do that. Let's wait and see.
Oxlade-Chamberlain. Bit of life there on the far side. Doesn't last long though from Hernandez. Forward into Neymar. There's a sense of expectation every time he gets the ball here. Neymar has to find Hulk. Challenge from Hulk. Brings down Carrot.
I think what they've done, England, is they've gone to a pretty basic 4-4-2. I think Jones has gone out to the right-hand side. Walcott goes up front with Rooney, tries to get forward. No question this is a free kick. The Hulk just too slow in getting there.
Does 4-4-2 still have a place in football, Stevie?
Absolutely.
We hear Gary Lineker saying it was a return to the dark ages, those sort of formations.
Well, I think what people forget is when you play 4-4-2, when you're going forward, you have one of the full-backs coming, you end up with 3 at the back, which means you have an extra one in the middle, and if you have 2 up front, you're looking at a 3-5-2 in open play. You know, for me, the way your team is set out is how it should defend. So when you don't have the ball, 4-4-2 for me is perfect. But when you do have the ball, you can have your full-back going forward, you can have one of your central midfielders getting higher, which changes the whole shape of the team. So anybody who says there's not a place for it, for me, probably hasn't coached the team. It's always dead easy sitting on the outside, telling everybody what to do. I like to listen to people that have actually been in the hot seat before they say anything about systems, tactics, and players in general.
Rooney wins a free kick. That Lineker.
Again, this is a friendly, otherwise that's a yellow card.
Rooney.
Well, he's a little lucky there, Rooney. It's a horrible attempt at putting the ball in the box.
There's a chance for England. Oh, it's a deflection. It's just gone wide. James Milner with the effort.
Well, I thought that was going in the back of the net. Milner. He ends up getting closed down by Fred. And really, for me, he's so unlucky, Milner.
On the header from Rooney. Well, well, well.
I'm sorry. You have to expect somebody with Wayne Rooney's quality to put this in the back of the net. It's a free header. Just doesn't time it correctly. He's got plenty of time to pick his spot. You know where he's trying to put it, in that bottom right-hand corner. It just comes off the side of his head and goes wide. That should have been 1-1.
Despite all their dominance, Brazil, you could argue, lucky to still have the lead after that opportunity. Neymar finds Fred into Marcelo. Marcelo looking for the 1-2 on the edge of the box with Hulk as it goes out for a goal kick.
Again, they've been a little... Well, they certainly haven't been as imaginative around that penalty box as you would think a Brazil side would be. You know, you envisage them looking for little 1-2s. You know, we saw earlier on a little lob over in behind. There really just hasn't been any imagination, and that's why they only have one goal to their name. They've certainly had plenty of ball in that area. They just haven't produced anything going forward with it.
Rooney. It's a bit lively from England, isn't it? Milner. And Lampard. Chamberlain to Lampard. Chamberlain, great goal! How's about that? Roy Hodgson's side back on level terms. It's Brazil 1, England 1.
Well, you asked me earlier if there was a place for 4-4-2. You get some bodies forward, you get a little bit of pressure. Nice little layoff from Rooney, but that's a wonderful finish. Starts outside the post but brings it back inside, and Cesar has no chance. And without a change of tactics from Roy Hodgson, that goal just doesn't happen.
Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's third goal for England. His two previous efforts coming against San Marino in qualifying. He'll enjoy that. A lovely finish from the Arsenal midfielder. And it's game on. Lucas Moura to Dani Alves.
Kind of where Brazil are at the moment. Just a pot shot from 30 yards. Never ever going to trouble Joe Hart in goal.
By Hernandez. bringing their step here for England. It's Holt. Lucas Moura from distance.
Well, again, this really is the problem area for Brazil. Getting themselves into this sort of position, and from here it's all about decision making. In too many games recently, not just in this one, they just haven't been making good decisions.
Fernando to come on then for Brazil. Imagine that'll be for Paulinho in the centre of midfield. Centre of midfield. Still no Dante, Stevie, by the way.
Yeah, well, I told you what I thought about that earlier. It's pretty disgraceful. I'm sure Scolari's not worried about me or Dante. He's worried about looking after this Brazil side, and it really is getting to a critical stage for him in particular, that they can start getting some wins, they can start getting some good play and scoring some goals, because this Brazil public, that's what they're used to, that's what they want to see. And the longer Brazil go without a real positive run and a real bunch of wins behind them, then they'll begin to get a little bit restless. And of course, when that happens, the man who feels it the most is the manager, and that man is Scolari.
"20 minutes remaining then here. This international friendly live on ESPN. It's Brazil 1, England 1. Brazil opening the scoring in the second half. Fred with an effort after the shot from Hernandez rebounded off the crossbar. And Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain came on, making an instant impact. A beautiful strike from long range. We can get 1-1 here. Pressure, you would say, very much on Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, England have gone back again to the old 4-5-1. Oxlade-Chamberlain coming inside now and just doing a lot of defending and a lot of chasing.
Fred. Turn of pace on that far side. The ball can't be fouled.
It's really been a classic case of Brazil having a lot of individual talent and just not being able to put it all together. Again, Hulk, I mean, he has pace, he's got a wicked shot on his left side, but they just don't seem to be gelling.
Well, it's Hulk that's going to come off.
And again, the crowd are not happy.
And it's Fernando that's going to come on and replace him. It's we'd have to say, a slight defensive move here as the Gremio midfielder replaces Hulk.
I think maybe he's going for a little bit of shape. They've lost a little bit of shape because they've been trying to get another goal. They're pushing men forward, and of course when it breaks down, it makes it a lot easier for England to get out. Also, you got England sticking 5 in the middle there, and maybe Scolari's starting to think, well, you know what, I don't really want to lose this game. It's bad enough that we draw. Let's not lose it.
Milner. England played in 1984. Goal from John Barnes, contributing to a 2-0 win. Lucas.
Beginning to get a bit of the Walcotts here, Brazil, giving the ball away.
Fernando. Ball from Neymar, finds Lucas. A nothing ball though, really, from the PSG midfielder.
Yeah, it was horrible. He should have gotten his head up. He had time to pick somebody out. Instead, He just floats the ball into the back post, hoping that there's somebody there. And of course, the only man there was Carrick, who puts it out for a corner.
Neymar. Either way. As far as Dani Alves fires it back into the danger area, and Joe Hart, who's had a much quieter second half than he did the first.
He has, but how many times have we seen Dani Alves from that sort of distance with Barcelona firing a shot into the goal, either putting it in the net or making the keeper make a save? Just didn't get a good contact there, but it almost turned into something.
It's such a weapon, isn't it? You just fire it in the box, you can ping off someone, deflect in.
I was actually a little shocked he didn't have a go at it first time. He did have time to pull it down. It would have been some goal nonetheless, whether it was the first time or the second time.
Not a bad ball from Lampard. Rooney. And a shot from Milner's blocked.
Oh, it's a bad decision from Milner. I mean, he was always going to be blocked there from Marcelo. And Walcott was standing wide. And that's just a basic free kick from Phil Jones. He's never going to catch Neymar, shoves him over, but that was a great opportunity. Milner cut inside. Really should have rolled it to Walcott. Instead had a shot at goal, but it was always going to be blocked.
Just woken up. You could definitely see that Phil Jones has been given a yellow card. Let's see another substitution here. Lucas.
Well, I'll give Lucas the benefit there. I think he was trying to pull that ball back for Hernandez. But that man there, Fred, was making a run right down the middle in the penalty box, and he was wanting it.
Lucas. By Cole. To Dani Alves. Too much on that, but Hernandez will keep it in. Marcelo. Brazil just up the tempo in the last few minutes here.
Really need to find a different way, Brazil. Anytime they've just swung balls into that penalty box, Jagielka and Cahill have just eaten it up. It's when they play the little 1-2s, the little flat balls, little flat runs, that's when the both of those guys look a little bit in trouble.
Just see, he's about to make another substitution here. Damião to come on. Marcelo. Not sure who he thought was there.
Obviously that red shot's not quite bright enough. Incredible ball from Marcelo, which puts Milner on the break.
Milner to Rooney. Oxlade-Chamberlain in front of him. Goes alone with Rooney! Scores an absolute belter!
Well, I don't want to take anything away from Rooney, but it is helped by a deflection. It's a great little run from Ashley Cole here. Gives Rooney some space. And that's the deflection of Fernando. Takes it up and over. Julio Cesar. Wow, is that going to be the winner? It's a great idea. You see what he's trying to do. But that little deflection just takes it away from Cesar, who has no chance and who can only watch it sail over his head and into the back of the net. And incredibly, England are 2-1 up.
It really is a sensational scoreline. It's the same one, of course, that they recorded at Wembley in February. Wayne Rooney's 36th goal for his country have given Roy Hodgson's side the most unlikeliest of leads here at the Maracanã. Well, well, well.
We have to praise England. You have to praise Roy Hodgson. He made a change tactically. They got them back in the game with that first goal. But the second one, really, for me, is down to Brazil. They've just been asleep this second half. They just haven't looked interested. And that ball that put England on the break from Marcelo just summed up what Brazil have been like today. They just haven't managed to find their passes.
Fred, by the way, taken off for Damião, who's come on for the final 10 minutes here. But it's England stroking the ball around like Brazil.
I wouldn't go that far yet. Listen, they've had a couple of opportunities, England, and they've taken them.
Rooney to Walcott. Silva plays it away.
Well, that's a good move, isn't it? Nice little 1-2 with Rooney. Walcott using his pace. Just flies past Marcelo, but it's a poor ball. He doesn't pick his head up. Hurries the cross, and then it's cut out.
Bernard is about to come on. And what would only be his second cap for Brazil. Atletico Mineiro. Attacking midfielder. Well, well, well. Brazil 1, England 2 here. As the English fans chant, it's just like watching Brazil.
Now, were they talking about their own team, or were they talking about the opposition?
Jack Rodwell is about to be introduced to the action. A tough season, hasn't he, the 22-year-old, after making that big money move from Everton to City.
Yeah, you just wonder who's coming off.
Lucas plays it inside, great finish! And there's the equaliser, Paulinho. Puts Brazil back on level terms. I'll tell you what, we've seen some superb goals here today. It's Brazil 2, England 2.
Well, it's beautifully taken. Lucas Moura again for me. I don't think he picks out Paulinho, but it goes straight to him. And that's a wonderful finish. Again, nobody in the red jersey gets tight enough. And Paulinho picks his spot and dispatches it with some aplomb. It's a beautiful finish. The finish you would expect from a centre-forward, not a defensive midfielder.
Corinthians midfielder, third goal in 12 appearances for Brazil. The other two come against Argentina and Japan. Not quite as impressive as that finish. And it's 2-2 here at the Maracanã. And it looks like that'll be Paulinho's last action, as Bernard is going to come on to replace the 24-year-old.
As happy as Brazil are, England will be so disappointed. They had enough bodies in that penalty box. Nobody read it. Nobody closed the ball. And in the end, it was dispatched beautifully by Paulinho.
Atletico Mineiro. Second cap for Brazil. This game is there for the winning.
Jack Rodwell warming up. I'm pretty sure that was a case of let's hold on to this 2-1 lead, let's get them in there and make sure that the opposition don't get at us. And of course, it's too late by the time he gets on the field.
England. Over on the far side. It's Neymar. Joe Hart makes the save though. And plays it out for a throw.
It's great goalkeeping. You have to ask yourself, where was Phil Jones there? It's always going to be played into that hole. Neymar just either couldn't have the legs to get on the end of it, the ball just skipping away from him, but Joe Hart's off his link quickly. Does a great job again of smothering anything.
Hernandez. Crossbar, of course, was led to the opening goal in this game. Much more exciting second half for the neutral than it was, of course, in the first. Lucas Moura to Dani Alves, finds Johnson a little far. Sorry, it's Rodwell who's there. Alves. Hernandez. Just taking his eye off the ball. 5 minutes. Plus added time then here. Confirmation that Walcott came off for Jack Rodwell.
Sure. Roy Hodgson will be cussing his luck that he couldn't have made that substitution a little earlier. You have to wonder as well, I'm not quite sure whether I like Scolari making so many changes. I mean, we've spoken all through this game about how the Brazilians don't really seem to be connecting that well with each other. I just feel that when you make so many changes all the time, and he has done that throughout the last 5-6 friendlies, for me that's maybe a big reason why Brazil going forward just don't really seem to be on the same page.
Free kick.
Horrible, absolute horrible decision from the referee. Jagielka stands his ground, makes his challenge, gets the ball, and somehow the referee gives a free kick against him in such a dangerous area. Here we see it again, Jagielka holding his ground, makes the challenge. Should have been England ball, instead the referee's given a free kick. And would you be shocked if a yellow jersey stepped up and put this in the back of the net?
Dani Alves then to take. Fits it in, but England have defended well at the back. Well, this has just come through to Hernandez. Bernard. The ball in, David Luiz. Going up for the header.
I thought David Luiz there may have tried to put that in goal himself. There was nobody backing him up. Here we see the challenge from Silva. Just a good, strong challenge, no free kick. The referee gets that one right. Right there, great challenge. Both players committed, going for the ball. Silva just gets there ahead of Milner. Milner comes off us. The free kick, I said it was in a dangerous area, but it was an awful ball in the box from Dani Alves. His teammates were in the box a little bit early, but at the same time, really didn't get it in a dangerous area for anybody to attack.
It's just 2-2. England will be the happier of the two teams.
Yeah, without question. The usual questions that are fired at Scolari about not winning again, not creating and taking as many chances as they should, particularly at home. But for England, it's a real confidence booster going into the qualifying games.
Ashley Cole. David Luiz doesn't quite get there. It comes through there to Marcelo.
Lord Bell should have gambled there. That was always going to be a tough ball for Luiz to handle. Should just have gambled. Instead, stood back off and watched it trickle harmlessly through. Interesting to see the contrast in the papers tomorrow. The Brazilian papers, no question, will be criticising Brazil's team, criticising Scolari, and of course, for a change, I'm guessing the English papers are going to be full of praise for England, the way they fought back, going behind at the Maracanã. Disappointed to get ahead and then lose it, but a 2-2 draw at the Maracanã is a superb result, if indeed it stays that way.
Last push then for Brazil is Dani Alves. Fernando plays it across into David Luiz. Bernard into Marcelo Hernandez. It's the pass into the centre to Damião. Bernard. Into Hernandez. Lucas Moura. And the block is an important one. And it's a goal kick. And that, I imagine, will be the final action in the game. Your thoughts, Stevie?
Definitely disappointed in Brazil. First half, they looked as though they were committed. They looked to try and get forward. They looked to try and get Neymar on the ball in particular. They'd create a couple of half chances, but they were definitely on the ascendancy. This second half, for me, they've come out and they were just pretty much asleep for most of it. They did go ahead, but then they lost two quick goals when England changed their formation, got themselves back in it, and it looked as though they were going to steal this game from me. But of course, you can never write Brazil off. And surprise, surprise, they managed to get an equaliser.
All the goals then coming in the second half as we saw Fred get on the score sheet along with Paulinho, Rooney and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Those goals means that it...
Hi there, Kitty from Progressive Car Insurance. Here to let you know that we're 100% online, which means less overheads for us and more savings for you.
Ready to save? Visit progressiveonline.com.au.
If you're looking for a great car, wouldn't you want Australia's best small car under $35,000 and the peace of mind of Australia's best customer care program? Get it all with Hyundai's award-winning i30 hatch from just $29.90 drive away. And the elegant Elantra sedan from as little as $19,990 drive away. Only at Hyundai and only for a limited time. Hyundai. Brilliant cars, brilliant value.
Nothing clings to your engine like Castrol Magnetec's intelligent molecules. They cling to protect, dramatically reducing engine wear. Castrol Magnetec, instant protection from the moment you start.
Centrebet's best ever Origin money-back special is here. Bet on Origin Game 1 with Centrebet, and if Billy Slater or Jared Haynes score a try, we'll give you your money back. That's right, if either Origin fullbacks score a try, Centrebet will give you your money back. It's easy. 1, download the app for your mobile or go to centrebet.com. 2, bet on Origin Game 1. 3, if Slater or Haynes score a try, get your money back. Download the app or visit centrebet.com and sign up now.
You know the names.
Brian and Kervin! Julia Samira!
You know the faces. Now it's time once again to flex your musical muscle in an arena of your peers.
Listening, looking, learning, here we go.
Rock Whiz is your home for die-hard music trivia, or as they like to put it, a special place for special people. As unashamed and witty as ever, Rock Whiz Season 8. Starts Wednesday, June 12 at 9:30 on Max.
His dominance inside the ring was indisputable. His impact outside, legendary. Each week, another chapter from the life of the greatest of all time. Ringside, Muhammad Ali. Sundays, only on ESPN.
Welcome back. Let's take you through the highlights then and all 4 goals that came in the second half. The first one, Hernandez, the substitute with the shot, ricocheting off the crossbar. Good finish from Fred.
It was. It kind of came from nothing. The game's pretty dead here until Hernandez picks it up. Nobody closes the ball, and he just guides it. Looks as though it's going in the top corner and comes off the crossbar, but Fred, doing what good strikers do, follows it in, and it's a nice calm finish underneath Joe Hart.
Then Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain brought on. This is a moment he won't forget. Scoring at the Maracanã, and what a goal it was as well.
Well, it's 2 pieces of great play. That's a beautiful layoff there from Rooney, and that's a superb strike from Ox. Takes it out, brings it back in, and gives Cesar no chance.
Rooney then goes from provider to scorer. Well, lovely goal from the English.
You can see what he's trying to do all along. You know he's trying for that top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner. Nobody closes him. Fernando's a little late. Doesn't quite get it right, Rooney, but it hits off the back of Fernando and sails into the top corner.
We saw some brilliant goals, didn't we? This one from Paulinho, the equaliser.
Disappointing from an England point of view. Plenty of red jerseys there, but everybody goes too deep, too near Joe Hart. You see Joe Hart can't see that, but that is a superb finish from Paulinho. Just picks his spot.
Well, we'll be back for Brazil against France on June 10th. That game is live here on ESPN. Another early start, but hopefully this one was worth getting up for. Neither side with the win, but positives and negatives for both teams. This has been a production of ESPN. For more, go to espnfc.com. But for myself, Dan Thomas, and Stevie Nicol, till next time, goodbye.
At home, I have no trophies, cups, nothing.
This is a story of success without sentiment.
He never tolerated bad behaviour or a lack of respect.